Okay, let's look at the answers for week 3 for Activate Math. Whoops. My board hates me. There we go. Okay, so if we're going to use this new operation that Charles is making, all it is a formula you got to plug into. So it says 2, 1, and 3, 4. 2, 1 is going to be your AB, and 3, 4 is going to be your CD, and all we have to do is plug those in over here to get our answer. So if our A is 2, that'll be a 2 right here. B is 1. C is 3. And D is 4. So you got to look at your operations right here. We have 2 times 3 plus 1 times 4 over 2 times 1 minus 3 times 4. So on the top, that'll be 6 plus 4. And of course, you could type it all at once in your calculator to get the top answer. And 2 minus 12. Okay, so 6 plus 4 is 10. 2 minus 12 is a negative 10. 10 divided by negative 10 is a negative 1, which is B. So all that was plugging in. Okay, next one, a little bit of geometry. If you read where it says the angles are, angle BAC is 30. So BAC is up here at A, vertex is A. Angle ABC is angle B, is 110. And it wants to know what angle ACD is. So ACD is this outside angle right here. There's 2 ways to do it. First way is to know what's called the remote interior angle theorem. So if you add the 2 remote interiors, this is an exterior angle, it's on the outside. If you add your 2 remote interiors, that means the 2 that are not touching it, you actually get your answer. So if you do 110 plus 30, that's 140, and that's your answer. X is 140. So that's the quickest way. But if you don't remember that theorem, you could still find the other angle in the triangle. Your 3 angles in the triangle add to be 180. So you would do 110 plus 30 is 140. And then 180 minus 140 means that this angle on the inside is 40. And anytime you have a straight line that's divided up into 2 angles, remember a straight line is like a semicircle, makes 180. So 180 minus 40 is 140. So you can work your way through it with your geometry knowledge if you need to, but the fastest way is to know that theorem. Okay, next one, isosceles right triangle. AB is 10. So first of all, isosceles and right. We already know it's a right triangle because that's a right angle. Isosceles means that you have 2 sides of the same. And if this is a right triangle, that makes this the hypotenuse. So that one's not the other one that's the same. The hypotenuse has to always be the biggest. So that means that this one must be the other side that's the same. So you have 2 sides that are 10, and they want you to figure out how long this side is. So you could do Pythagorean theorem. You could do 10 squared plus 10 squared equals x squared. And when you do that, you'll have 200 equals x squared. And you take the square root, because the opposite of squaring is square rooting. And if you do that in your calculator, you're going to get a decimal, about 14.1. But if you look at your answer choices, it doesn't have any decimals. So the other way would be to break down the square root of 200, or you could just compare the answer choices in your calculator. You'll break that down into perfect square of 100 times 2, because 100 times 2 is 200, and the square root of 100 is 10. So that's 10 square root of 2. So E is the answer. This is definitely not the fastest way. It's probably the way most of you did it, but it's not the fastest. There's rules called for a 45, 45, 90 triangle. If this is isosceles and both sides are the same, that means that both of these angles must be the same. So that means this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Okay. 45, 45, 90s have special ratios of their sides. It's just a rule that's understood. Whatever those 2 sides are, they're the same. The hypotenuse will always be that number with a square root of 2 on it. So if you know that shortcut, you could have automatically just went over here and chosen the right answer. Okay, 14. You have 400 jelly beans, 25% are red. It wants to know the probability that if you choose one that it's not red. So if 25% is red, that means that 75% is not red. And let's think about that in terms of a fraction. 25%, they have quarters. That's 1/4. So 75% would be 3/4. So you have 3/4 of chance of not getting a red. You don't even really have to do much math with that as long as you understand your numbers and your percentages. what polynomial must be added to x squared minus 2x plus 6 so that you get 3x squared plus 7x? So what I like to do on this one is think about what am I going to have to add to it to get 3x squared plus 7x. So if I'm looking at my x squareds, I have 1x squared, I need 3. So obviously I have to add 2x squared to that. So if I come over here, I can eliminate all 3 of those first answers. And then what I would probably look at next is I have a plus 6 and I want it to completely go away. So obviously I'd have to minus 6 and I would choose my answer, but we can go in order. If I have negative 2x and I want to get to a positive 7x, that means I need 2x to get back to 0, and then I need 7 more. So that's going to be 9. I have to add 9x. So 9 minus 2 is 7. And then to get rid of that 6, I would have to subtract 6 to get nothing down here. So you can see that D is your correct answer. If you don't like thinking that much, you always could have added every single one of your answer choices and see which one gives you the right answer, but I think that would take longer. And here are the answers we went over in case you need to see those again.